Hi, my name is Paul J Koltnow. I'm an assistant professor and director of admissions in the physician assistant program housed in the College of Medicine. I want to talk today about how do we improve as teachers. Today I'll share my tip, which is evaluate. So after about 6 months of working in my new job as a pediatric PA, I was at the counter just writing a note after seeing a patient. My boss, the doctor who owned the practice, was working next to me. She asked me an odd question. Do you know why I trust you? Of course, I had a few comments leap to my mind pretty quickly. Because I'm awesome? I decided not to answer that. Instead, I said, it's an odd question, but since you ask, I'm curious. Why do you trust me? She turned to me and said, you're not afraid to say you don't know if you don't know. This has stuck with me for a while. I think it's what makes for a good clinician/teacher. You need to be confident in what you know and also confident in what you don't, and then try to rectify that. As a teacher, I tell this story during the first week of class to our cohort of students. We have a small class of 30. They're all motivated, accomplished, and I wonder what they failed at. During their interviews, I'll often ask them, what have you failed at? And it usually catches them off their guard. I also ask myself that question after each lecture or group activity, and at the end of a course. What did I do well? What could I do better? I grew up in a family that owned a small business. It was a deli. We had a steamer, made incredible hot sandwiches. They were so good. I also worked in retail during college, and I say this to say customer service is ingrained in my approach to life and teaching. About 2 years ago, I started to encourage students at the beginning of the course, at the end of the course, give me constructive feedback in their evaluations. Be honest. I want to give them the best service I can. I want them to feel engaged. I want them to feel this is our class. I value that feedback. I say if you want to rip me, then at least tell me why you're ripping me, right? What you wish I would change. Give me the feedback. I want to hear your evaluation. I want to share with you 2 recent situations. One's a success. One is still an ongoing process. And I'm going to start with that ongoing process first. I hate to give my students the PowerPoints before class. Hate it. I feel like this inhibits engagement. They'll just read the PowerPoints, not pay attention to me. I want to use the class time to maximize case study activities, engagement, things like that. I want them to learn and not focus on grades so much. So I assign these readings that are due before class, and then I give a quiz. And the quiz is quite simple, a few questions that are easily answered by cursory reading of the material. The students hate this, but it meets my need. And so I'm talking with the current students in between breaks, at lunch, why they don't like not having PowerPoints. I'm asking them for suggestions. I'm getting their evaluations, and I'm empowering them to be part of this process with me. The successful project, last year I was co-director of a course. It received mixed evaluations. Students were pretty fair in their comments. There weren't enough synchronized instructions between the different course professors and myself. The communication wasn't as good as it could have been. I relied on intrinsic motivation, and I was wrong. This year, with that feedback, I admitted my failures, went back, redesigned the course to where I was the only instructor. I was able to understand what the students wanted, and the course evaluations were higher. More importantly, the students learned more. So often we get so busy doing our jobs that we can forget the foundational responsibility of engaging with our customers, our students. So how do we do this? When faced with a how question, I go back to a preceptor who broke this down to me in a pretty simple way. H is for honesty, O is for openness, and W is for willingness. So as I conclude, I want to ask you, how much do you value your evaluations of your class? Do you see them as empowering? Are you engaged with the feedback? Are you engaged with the students? I really hope this helps, and I'm glad to share this with you. Thanks.